What does it mean to make a covenant with the Creator? Because we look at God as the main law of nature, as a force. It means to achieve such a state where we unite with the Creator, with the force of bestowal, the force of love, and similarity to Him on a certain level. Meaning, since our basis, our foundation is the will to receive, the ego, then by correcting the ego to altruism, meaning inverting my will to receive to the will to bestow to others, by doing so, we become like the Creator. So we're talking about equivalence of form. Yeah. So when we achieve this kind of equivalence of form on a certain level of our ego, then it means that we make a covenant, meaning on that level, we're like the Creator. All in all, there are 125 degrees. Our ego is divided into 125 degrees in similarity to the Creator. But it's better to talk about how the Creator works on us. And when He works on us, He works on the 4 levels of our ego. He's on the highest, the 5th level, and therefore it's easier for us to divide our path into 4 parts. Therefore, there's the 4-lettered name of the Creator, meaning the 4 degrees of His revelation to man, to a person who ascends and attains the Creator. And this is how we talk about achieving contact with the Creator or making a covenant, brit in Hebrew. What forces me to keep this covenant? So I reach this connection, and I'm being added ego on a new level. There's a new level of ego that's revealed. How can I then keep the covenant? I can keep this covenant by this agreement, by trying to rise even higher. You can't stand still, stop where you are. It's not the kind of covenant or agreement like we make here, meaning I've corrected a certain part of my ego, but once I've corrected it, an even greater ego appears that in its turn, I have to correct it to bestow connection, love in its turn. And therefore, all the time, there are new and new egoistic qualities and desires that appear in me, thoughts, qualities, and I need to use them all for bestowal, connection. So I'm actually demanded to keep this covenant only on the level that I made it, and that there's a new level of ego that appears in me. Then there, of course, on every level you reach a state where you have reached your commitment, your covenant with the Creator, and then you rise to a higher level of ego, and there you have to achieve equivalence of form with the Creator, and then to the next level, and this is how you ascend. So all these covenants, I can make them only when I'm already in the attainment of the Creator. Of course, meaning if now I don't feel this upper force, yeah, but you aspire for it. You aspire. Obviously, there are certain problems here you don't see, you don't understand, don't know. But precisely in order to near the Creator, there are certain conditions and a covenant. What if a person breaches his covenant with the Creator? Is it possible? Or if you've achieved the covenant once, then that's it? Well, actually, yes. As it says, you're being raised in holiness and not you rise, but you don't descend as if. But can a person breach it? It's not that he can breach it or not. He already did his part in achieving the quality of bestowal and love. He already put in his effort, his part. Okay, I understand that before making covenant with the Creator, we learn mean that, first of all, a person needs to make a covenant with his friends. This group, right? That's the first degree. The first degree, nonetheless, in our world, the Creator is hidden behind all of these objects, still vegetative, animate, and human nature, right? The thing is that the Creator is a force that is unachieved by us altogether. We achieve it only in our substance, in our ego, to the measure to which we, out of our ego, we can take these broken, shattered states, antagonistic states between us, and correct them into better altruistic relations. To that measure, we become like the Creator and can feel the Creator between us. Therefore, since man consists of an egoistic intention and desire to begin with, then working on the ego, working on the connection between us for the sake of our connection is our main work. And dividing our ego into 5 parts, according to its levels, force, desire to reject all that is not in the field of my egoistic goals. By overcoming these antagonistic desires and tensions toward the rest of the world, I gradually come closer to others, reach connection with others, and by that I rise above my ego, I defeat it, and this way I overcome all the 5 degrees of my egoistic desire. 5 desires times 5 times 5, 125 degrees separate me from equivalence of form with the Creator, and these are the degrees of attainment, of correction, of our closeness to the measure to which a person is distant from others, hates them. To that measure, he is distant from the Creator and doesn't feel Him. Baal Sulam writes about it a lot, that there is no difference between bestowing to your fellow man or to the Creator. Very true. So if you acquire the quality of bestowal, then for you it doesn't matter. Your ego gets nothing out of it, so it doesn't matter who you give to. I can make the same conclusion that there's no difference between making a covenant with the friends or with the Creator. With the Creator, for example. No, there's no difference. The only difference is in that the Creator, He is the general, whole, complete, and our relations in the group or between us are particular. They come, they go, etc. So these are means, and the Creator is the goal. And what's the purpose of the covenant itself? Our covenant is that we want and ask of the Creator to help us become like Him. This is what it's all about? Yeah. What else could there be? What else do I need altogether? We only need His help, and that He will help me to rise to His level. And what about the friends? Well, obviously, this is all resolved in the connection with the friends. So I can't directly reach an agreement with a covenant with the Creator, but it will always be through others. It will always be expressed through my good relations with others. Because this isn't what it says that clearly in our sources. It talks about, making a covenant with the Creator like Abraham did. Well, all this is about higher spiritual rules, laws. But in our world, in our condition, in our state, it's only from love of friends to love of the Creator. This is the only way that I can achieve Him. So the covenant has 2 sides. I'm committed to do something, and the other side, meaning the Creator, He's also committed to doing something. So what is the Creator obliged to keep about the covenant? The Creator, He is obliged to answer any request of ours for correction. And we're obliged to ask Him. And if we commit to asking Him in order to improve ourselves and to achieve equivalence of form with Him, then He helps us. This is a mutual covenant. So the work is that I need to understand, acknowledge what I need to correct, ask the Creator, and the Creator needs to implement the request if it's correct. Yeah, this is the covenant that was established by the first Kabbalists, Abraham, etc. It comes all together from Adam. And like we already said, on each of the 125 degrees, we make this kind of covenant. Well, it's like we extend it, we raise it to the level of the degree that we have achieved. And we say that it's something permanent, that if I've corrected myself in a certain degree, then it doesn't change. Yeah, there's no way back.
Есть такое понятие, как союз с учителем?
Is there such a thing like a covenant with the teacher or only with the friends and the Creator? It's one and the same. Meaning anything that a person sees in front of him is given to him now, in the meantime, in order for him to spiritually arrange himself with the teacher, the friends, and life, the world, to make it so that he'll achieve adhesion with the Creator. That's the goal. I understand that in the meantime, as long as a person has not achieved the Creator, didn't attain the Creator yet, there are people, they're his friends, and he has to make the covenant with them because he doesn't feel the Creator. But later on, when a person is already connected with the upper force, is it impossible to make a direct covenant with him, and still it's done through other people? Because the state in which a person can reveal the Creator, near Him, feel Him, and therefore this entire covenant, it flows through the connection with the entire world, with the whole of creation, with everything that a person can feel in his five senses, and with the source of this entire covenant, the Creator. Without the Creator, there can't be any feeling. Imagine that you don't feel anything that's around you, that it's simple emptiness. Then what would you determine in it? So what? All the still vegetative and animate nature and people, these are my as if sensors through which I feel the Creator. I'll suppose through them. And He speaks to me through them, sends me different signs, things like that. Yeah. Okay, coming to the most interesting part. There are many covenants and etc., but let's talk about four of them and how do we practically work with them. The first is the covenant of eyes. What is it about? The covenant of the eyes.
Я вас не слышу.
We can't hear you. The covenant of the eyes is it's a high covenant. It's already on the level of Chokhmah. The light of the upper, higher attainment, like in our world. There's a person who says, I heard, and a person says, I saw. Because actually, we have only two senses, vision and hearing. In the wisdom of Kabbalah, it's called the vessels or the organs for the light of Chasadim and for the light of Chokhmah. There are only two. So about the light of Chokhmah, we can't precisely say, what do we feel? Oh, sorry. About the light of Chasadim, we can't exactly say, what are we feeling? We hear, but it's not full attainment. Full attainment is to see. The same as there are prophets who say, I saw or I heard. So a prophet who says, I saw, this is complete attainment of the Creator and We relate to his prophecies as the highest thing. And the same in relation to everything else that happens with us. We receive, of course, everything from the Creator. And or for us, for each of us, everything that we experience, this also comes from the Creator. And it's only the Creator who fulfills us and advances us all the time. But the main thing that we wish is complete achievement, attainment, and this can be only in the light of Chokhmah, meaning in vision. But why does this covenant say that you need to keep yourself from looking at women? Well, of course, we're not talking about women in our world, but we're talking about the Shekhinah, the Holy Shekhinah. Everything that we attain in our egoistic quality. And therefore, we need to keep ourselves so that on every level that we advance toward the quality of bestowal and love, that we don't fall into the ego, but that everything that we reveal and sense, that it will only be to the benefit of the general state of the entire universe, of all that the Creator has created. It's called this structure is called the soul of Adam. Adam meaning what the Creator has created. And this soul, we need to bring it to equivalence of form with the Creator, and therefore this state, this desire is called Adam in Hebrew, from the word domeh, to be similar to the Creator. So on every degree, every step of our development, and we're developing throughout 125 degrees, then from our level, which is completely the opposite, inverted to the Creator, and to the degree where we're in complete equivalence of form with the Creator, we go through two stages. The one stage is when we achieve the degree of Binah, the level of hearing, and the other stage is when from the degree of Binah, the degree of hearing, we rise to the level of Chokhmah, wisdom. And obviously, this is also how the prophets are, they're divided into those that say that I heard and those that say that I saw. But what does all of this have to do with the covenant of eyes? Well, this is the covenant. When I achieve such a state, then the attainment itself that I achieve, it becomes my covenant. Meaning, it's already in me, in my corrected qualities, and therefore it's called that, by that, I make a covenant with the Creator. But what does it mean? It's interpreted as not being allowed to look at women. What does it mean? Sorry, forgot your question. A woman meaning that in our world, there is a compilation of desires, very simple ones, clear ones. It is the desire for food, the desire for sex, and for family. These are the three fundamental desires of a person that basically also animals have. So these three desires, first and foremost, we need to direct them toward correction. And the strongest of them, even though that it's the most necessary one, is food, but most necessary for our existence is sex. And this stems from us needing to connect two opposite elements in creation in order to once again create a whole closed system. And therefore a woman here is the manifestation of man's desire to connection, to physical connection, and therefore here there is a special condition toward food and everything else, but especially this condition toward that towards women, that we need to keep ourselves, guard ourselves from looking at them, even looking at them, yeah. But we're talking about spiritual states, so what does it mean? The woman in me, it's the desire to receive. The egoistic desire to receive, to bring it closer to yourself, to directly enjoy the source of pleasure. The thoughts that a person has, like, why doesn't the Creator reveal to me directly, etc., it's all egoistic, and this is something that you should abstain yourself from. Right, that's the main thing, and especially abstain yourself. It's about food, sex, and family, that all these qualities that exist in us in a natural animal way, that they will be directed toward the attainment of the Creator, to use them to your own benefit only with the intention of achieving this goal of the attainment of the Creator. The next covenant is the covenant of the tongue. What's forbidden? The covenant of the word. What's forbidden to talk about? Well, in our world, suppose that it's these are very complicated laws, and they're all very unique, where a person needs to guard himself so that, not by his thoughts like previously with the first law, but here already through words, through expressing any kind of harm from himself toward other created beings. Meaning to make sure that you don't, suppose, insult a friend in the group, suppose. Well, that's roughly speaking, but when a person works toward bestowal, toward connection, then not only in relation to friends, but only in relation to other people, animals, whoever, whatever, he needs to look at the entire world as something whole and complete, and therefore to omit such critical things out of himself that's forbidden toward whoever that is. So, not to slander the Creator, whoever, animals. So that's a covenant that I want you perceive the entire world as the doing of the Creator, and therefore you keep yourself from bringing any kind of harm, even in thought, to whatever creation. Okay, then we have the circumcision, the Brit Milah, which is also a covenant that, from the spiritual point of view, a person cuts off certain desire. So if you can explain, what does it mean? We're talking about spiritual states in a person. Right. So if I achieve such a state where I'm already starting to correct the inner desires in a person, then the inner states, I achieve them through skin, that's the uppermost layer of our body. There are bones, flesh, muscles, skin. So, when I achieve such a state where I correct myself from the inside out, so to speak, and here we're talking entirely only about our desires. When I correct these desires, then I achieve a state of the correction of the skin. So here, there is the most extreme egoistic desire in me that I can't correct myself. The only thing that I can do with it is cut it off from myself, and then everything that I'm left with can be corrected, can be holy, and that I throw away the foreskin as if throw it into the sand, into nothing. Meaning it's that part of the ego that I cannot correct. And therefore, here, there is a circumcision. And therefore, in our world, the foreskin is cut off. But we're talking about... well, it's also... this is a covenant. covenant. I can't do it myself. I cut off this desire with the help of the force. Of course, you can't do it yourself. And we're not using the malchut. That's the final sphira. And here, there's the circumcision of the foreskin. I mean, are there other desires besides the malchut? No. We cut off the final degree of the desire that is at Yesod and already goes outward, so there are no other desires left. Why does only a man need to do it and not a woman? In spirituality, there is no difference, so a woman needs to do it too. No, it's because man is the bestowing part in humanity and a woman is the receiving part. So if a woman attains the Creator, then she too needs to make a circumcision. Yeah, spiritual circumcision is something that everyone goes through, regardless of our sex in this world. And because a person is the bestowing part, so to speak, only a person who aspires for a bestow can perform these actions. Okay. And the final one is the covenant of salt. Covenant of salt, this is more simple. We can say that salt, melach, is a quality that it can't be spoiled. To the contrary, it conserves everything that falls into it, and therefore the covenant that we make between us and the Creator is a permanent one, forever. And salt in our world manifests this quality of the covenant. So just like in our world, salt is the manifestation of a substance that can't spoil, that has to do with eternity, then Kabbalists, they actually took this word in order to describe spiritual states. Right. So we have these 4 covenants. Is there a certain order as to how to achieve them, what comes first, what comes later, or all of them at the same time, or how does it work? No. We need to simply work on our common desire and aspire to make it completely connected to the quality of the Creator and a group. It's all done during the study, gradually. And when the Creator will give us the upper force, then that will happen. So all these covenants, they appear when there's already the attainment of the Creator and the revelation of the Creator in a person, and then you start working with these covenants. Before that, are there any covenants in the group? Something? Well, we build groups. We make such qualities between us that help us to hold on, keep together. It's all according to what Bala Sulam, especially Rabash, writes about it in his articles about the covenant, the group, about our advancement toward bestowal, connection, in which we really attain the Creator. So we can say that this is an initial kind of work, and there too we make all these covenants like coming to the lesson on time, meeting at congresses, things like that, of course. But still, these are egoistic covenants that sometimes we keep, sometimes we don't. As opposed to a covenant with the Creator, that if there you have a covenant with Him, then it's forever. And the group, it needs to be the same too. To rise and not to descend. So not to get confused. If I got a bit confused about these covenants, no, don't get confused. It's all very simple. Well, for covenants, eyes, don't think about it. For how many there are. You need to simply think that I need to connect to my friends, with my friends, and afterwards with the entire group that studies, that's learning how to advance to the Creator, and later on with the rest of humanity, so that to the full measure of my abilities and to advance everyone toward covenant with myself and the Creator. Can we say that all these 4 covenants are in order to come to them, we need to follow all the principles that Rabash writes about the group work? Of course. There are 4 covenants, but he broke them down into dozens and dozens of principles. By following them, we can achieve this kind of covenant. Yeah. Thank you very much for the scrutiny, and until next time, all the best.